I will not rest until I have you holding a Coke, wearing your own shoe, playing a Sega game, featuring you while singing your own song in a new commercial starring you, broadcast during the Super Bowl in a game that you are winning.
Boys and girls, Tommy Morris here live from the chairman's room here in the Palace for Detroit Sports Broadcasters Association Broadcasters Appreciation Day. Yes, and that is sponsored by the Detroit Pistons along with the DSBA. And guests today are going to be George Blaha. Yes, and color commentator Ryan Fields here. So we hope you sit back, enjoy the program, and looking forward to speaking with you in a little bit. Tommy Morris from the chairman's room.
I'm Executive Director of the Detroit Sports Broadcasters Association. Give yourselves a round of applause, all of you coming out today. Yeah. Good to see everybody. We have some members of the Detroit Sports Broadcasters Association here. Jim Arnone, thank you for coming, Jim, and Tommy Morris, Detroit City TV, and I know I saw Brendan. Where is he? Welper? Yeah. Thank you for coming. And those of you that aren't familiar, we'll talk a little bit more about the Detroit Sports Broadcasters Association a little bit later. We're also going to have George Blaha is coming out first to speak to us tonight. George, of course, is a longtime broadcaster for the Detroit Pistons and a familiar voice of the team for more than 30 years. I'll just leave it at that. Ryan Field is going to be coming up after George is done, and Ryan is the sideline reporter for Fox Sports Detroit. Of course, George also works for Fox Sports Detroit, and they're going to speak to us, and we've got some questions that you all prepared that I have here that we're going to ask some questions of George and Ryan. We're now celebrating our 64th year. We started back in the 1940s, a gentleman named Ty Tyson. Ty Tyson was the original Detroit Tigers broadcaster, and he started the association 64 years ago. And you know why he started it? Because of second-class treatment by the broadcasters in the press box at Briggs Stadium. Imagine that. The writers were so powerful, the Baseball Writers Association of America, that they took and told the broadcasters, radio and TV guys, you got to go way in the back of the room, or you can't talk to the players when we talk to them. You know, that's how tough it was. So then Mr. Tyson got this group of gentlemen, all men at that time, together to join up and say, wait a minute, we want some rights too. We want to be part of what's going on here, covering the Tigers or covering the Lions or the Red Wings. The Pistons weren't around back then. So Mr. Tyson got a group of gentlemen that are broadcasters together, and they fought for their rights and formed our association. So it all came out of a little rebellion, if you will, but almost like a union, so to speak. But the broadcasters in Detroit wanted to group together and form this association, again, to fight for their rights and no longer be called second-class citizens in the press box at Briggs Stadium. So that's how it all started. And since then, it's evolved into quite a long association with both men and women, and now students as members of the Detroit Sports Broadcasters Association. So, and anybody that's a broadcaster on the air is welcome to join. It doesn't have to just be from Detroit. We've got members as far away as Florida and Arizona, and one in New Jersey. So you can be anywhere, and a couple in Canada. So the Detroit Sports Broadcasters Association goes all the way across the whole United States and into Canada as well. We don't have anybody in Mexico yet, but maybe someday we will. So we have a long association with covering the teams. The Detroit Pistons, the Red Wings, the Lions, and the Tigers all have agreements with us to a certain extent to help cover the teams and to bestow awards. One of the things we give out every year, by the way, is the Ty Tyson Award. The Ty Tyson Award is for excellence in sports broadcasting, and I'm proud to say that George Blaha, who's going to speak in a few minutes, is a past recipient of that award. So George, I know, is very honored to get that award a few years ago from the Detroit Sports Broadcasters.